Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. It's Wednesday night. That means one thing. That is the OB Builders Cup Series here on V-Speed. I'm Eddie Smith. Glad to have y'all here tonight for the Triple M Hauling 250 here at the Charlotte Roval. Well, we are here for the cutoff race for the championship and moving into the round of 8. Just 4 races remain after this one, and we are going to set the round of 8 here tonight at the Roval. It's going to be a I don't know if it's going to be a wild one. I think there's some interesting storylines that have developed. So I don't know. I don't know what this race is going to look like. I know that a couple drivers are going to be really fast, and we may see somebody maybe pull off a really cool victory here tonight, but we'll see. I'm not real sure how this is going to play out. Let's take a look at your point standings and some interesting developments that we'll need to talk about here. Kenny Coppola locked in, Randy Mullins all but locked in, Alex Coffey as well. Plenty of only just a little bit over 20 drivers here tonight, so gonna be tough for those guys to have big trouble. But Chris Davis, Matt Cox, Brandon Bikey, Justin Belmont, all kind of teetering there on it. Could possibly all go wrong, so they're gonna need good races here tonight to keep going to the round of 8. But big development, Hunter Carmichael there in that 8th position, right on that cutoff, not here tonight. So, as far as what I know about how things work, it is likely he will not move on. So, that will drop him out. Paul Gallimore also not in this race tonight. So, that should move with Blaine Wilson being in the race. He's going to have to gain 29 points. So, Blaine Wilson's going to have to do some work tonight. I'm not real sure if that's going to give him that spot. But, it's going to be close. So Blaine Wilson, Tim Wortman Jr., those guys still in it, funny enough, with some absentee drivers in Hunter Carmichael and Paul Gallimore. It just kind of makes the cutoff line a little bit more exciting here for sure. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if they join in. I don't see them joining in, and we're just a few minutes away from getting this race underway. So interesting development here. So that kind of blows these guys that are 23, 26 points below the cutoff. They kind of have new life breathed in them because now they are the cutoff. With Carmichael Gallimore not being in this race, they'll lose all the points that they might have gained. And so, just by showing up, Blaine Wilson and Tim Wortman Jr. and Jordan Schmeets would gain enough to get right there on that cutoff line. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be close. We'll see. But they're still going to have to go out there and get it. Like I said, 29 points would be what Blaine Wilson's got to make up to be right there on that cutoff. But I think he can do it here with enough stage points. And always the way that these things work at the track, the road courses, they've been not throwing caution. So local cautions only. And for the stages at lap 20 and 40, they will just calculate the points at the time that they cross the line. So no cautions here tonight. We'll run it all the way through. Should be a pretty short race. Take a look at the Charlotte Roval. Calling it the Charlotte Road Oval is just feels weird. So I don't know why I did that. But you can see there all the turns. 16 in total. 24-degree banking course. That is in the NASCAR ovals, and you'll hit that twice in. And you have that infield section that's really just sort of in these cars a slow section. Just you got to be patient, be smart through that section. Get up on the track, and you have the 2 chicanes. You have the 2 on the back stretch. You see 10, 11, and 12 and 13 right there. Those are big passing zones. Spots that it can really go wrong is that one. Of course, the front stretch chicane right before the start-finish line could make for some exciting passes, but also some pretty diabolical cars flying up in the air as they hit those turtles there. So gonna be a wild one for sure. But we're getting ready to grid up, and I think they are gridded up. So let's take a look at your qualifying grid. Who is starting where here tonight? Get the main feed up so we can see who's where as they're all lined up now. Still waiting on a few to grid up. Let's go through the grid now. Randy Mullins, no surprise, with a 119.1. He was running 118s in practice. We've talked all season, and all the road courses have been this way. Randy Mullins is the guy to beat at this track, and I don't think there was any surprise to see him up front. And I would be surprised if he didn't finish up there here tonight, especially with no caution. So, but he's got to have a perfect race. Can't make any mistakes. No speeding on pit road. None of that stuff. Not getting caught up in any lap traffic. There's a lot you have to do to get from start to finish, but he's got as good a shot as anybody for sure. He's got the speed. Kenny Coppola, though, not too far behind in speed. He's going to start there in second. He's already locked in. Alex Coffey in third. Tim Wortman Jr. going to be there in the fourth position. In fifth, going to be Jordan Schmeets with Brandon Bikey there in the sixth position. In seventh, Shane Davis, Brandon Fetter placed in eighth. In ninth, Barry Sanders with Justin Belmont in that 10th position. In 11th, Chris Davis and Matt Cox in 12th. 13th, Nick King and Blaine Wilson in 14th. Blaine Wilson's going to have a lot of work to do. He's got the ability to get into the round of 8. He's going to just have to have a good race here tonight. Going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'm excited to see once this race is over with. Ed Bull Jr. in 15th. 16th is Jamison Middlemiss. 17th, Jeffrey Taylor. And 18th, Warren Young. 19th, Johnny Shade, Nigel Christensen in 20th. In 21st is Aaron Matthews, 22nd. Paul Gallimore didn't make the race. How about that? So, okay, well, that changes some things. Glad to see him in the race. Was worried how that was going to play out. Blaine Wilson now punching the air. Derek Clark in 23rd. Caden Orfrey in 24th. And that rounds out your grid here tonight as we get this thing rolling. Take a look at your race detail. 67 laps here tonight. 5 tire sets available. Local cautions only, which means that yellow flag will fly if somebody has an incident, but no full course cautions unless there's just a track blocker. 100% fuel load open setup stages at lap 20 and 40. So, well, take a look at those point standings again as we get ready to go green. Paula Gallimore now will have total control by 11 points over Blaine Wilson in this one. So Gallimore joining the race kind of changes everything back to a little bit more calm. So Blaine Wilson, Tim Wortman Jr., Jordan Schmeets are going to have to win this race most likely to make it into the playoffs. Hunter Carmichael will fall out, and Gallimore will take that cutoff position. So see the cars coming through the chicane right now. Well, tonight it's all about patience. These tracks, you seem like you want to just get in there and wheel this car, but you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to take care of the tires. They will cook very easily. And you technically, in the next gen car, very rarely come down pit road do you take tires. We'll see if anybody decides to do that or not. But you want to take care of the car now. You're not really wanting to drive the hell out of it. You want to take it easy, take care of the car, get to the finish. So we'll see. Here they come through the final chicane. Barney's got the green flag in his hand, and green flag is out here in Moonshiners. Driving into turn 1, Kenny Coppola said, you know what, I want to have a shot at this race. He said, oh, I think we might have an incident back here. A track blocker, indeed, is Alex Coffey. Sits in the middle of the track backwards. Gets it turned around, but he goes all the way to the back as multiple folks had issues. Justin Belmont, Nick King, they're still wrecked there. Oh, and Nick King going to pull back up on the track, and Paul Gallimore also involved. So that's not what Gallimore needed. Gallimore needs to have a good race. He does not need to have that. And you can see Alex Coffey here. I don't think he gets tagged. I think he just got a little bit loose on the brake. Take a look here as they go down in the corner. We'll see if it gets any contact. Nope, just hard on the brakes, and you can see what happened. Just a track blocker there. I don't know what happened to Gallimore after the fact. He's rolling in here. They get rolling, and then you see some drivers. Oh, and he gets tagged as somebody was backing back out on the track. My goodness. So Gallimore, who's got that nice little buffer now might be in trouble. And if you're Blaine Wilson, you got to be moving right now. You got to be thinking that's about the best thing that could have happened for you. That gives him the best shot, and he is up here running in the 18th or in the 7th position. Got some cars behind him, but that is about as good as it could go from the start for Blaine Wilson there. Up front, though, Kenny Coppola has the lead, but Randy Mullins back on his rear bumper, not letting him get away. On board the 54 here. These tires are good for about a lap or two, and then they really lose a lot of grip, and you have to just take your time. Be easy on it. You see Kenny Coppola going to get into the wall there. That's going to open the door for Randy Mullins, who looks down to the inside. Kenny going to keep the RPMs up, but Randy Mullins on the left side. He's got position. I think Kenny's going to have to give it to him. No, he's going to pull down in front of him as they go into the backstretch chicane. Coppola going to hold on to the lead for now as they go over those turtles. You can see how the car kind of reacts violently to those things. So, well, that's big. Kenny Coppola getting now. This battle right here doesn't matter too much. You see, they're going to come through the final chicane here, hit those turtles. Actually, being a little bit passive around those things, not being so aggressive. Randy Mullins sets the fastest lap as he continues to apply pressure to the 77. But now is where the tires start to go away. The car just is not going to grip up like it has the first couple laps. So patience. Got to just stay on top of it. Roll the centers. Don't miss the apexes. Don't spin the tires on exit. That's what these guys are thinking about. But look at these guys. And these guys up front don't know about that. They're racing the hell out of it. Saw Coppola getting to the wall already. This time, no issues for the 77 as he continues to hold on to the lead. But, man, I tell you what, Randy Mullins is continuing that pressure. And you see back here in third, we talked about, you know, these guys back here. Jordan Schmidt's 26 coming into the race, 26 points below the cutoff. And, oh, he's going to blow through the chicane. He's going to have to get a slowdown. They don't have to come to a complete stop here on iRacing. They'll have like sort of a slowdown. He'll lose a ton of time. So, fortunate broadcaster curse there. But, I mean, he needs as many points as he can get, these stage points. And if he can get up here and win the race, man, that would be massive for Jordan. That's about, he's winning and get in type of guy at the moment. So, he's not going to be able to point his way in. So, the 22 going to have to get up there. He's doing a great job right now sitting in third. But he's going to have to stay up with these guys. He's not going to be able to let them get away. He can't have too many slowdowns like that. Because he is now 3.3 seconds back from these guys who are still going at it here. And, of course, he's hoping they'll get together and wreck. No fast repair. One little small mistake, they both could be out of this thing. So Jordan going to try to stay in it. If he can get that win. Oh, my goodness. It looks like Brandon Fetterplace. Oh, no, who was that? Ed Bowles Jr. has gone around in that 38. Saw that in the distance. And a couple of guys have gone off track. And Paul Gallimore, again, almost involved in something there as Ed just cannot get this thing back rolling. Finally does. Little Austin Powers there. But up front, Randy Mullins continuing to apply pressure. See how violent that those turtles are. They removed them in real life. Of course, the configuration that they are running here is the old configuration. iRacing did not update it, so it doesn't have that wild exit onto the NASCAR oval. So this is still the old configuration. You see those turtles there, and they will. I mean, they're violent. Now, coming to the start-finish line, it's actually a little bit faster to use those. You just have to be careful, because man, it'll throw that car around. If you're not prepared for what it's going to do, it can be really tough to hang on to it. Look how these guys are getting through this infield section. Randy Mullins definitely feels like he is just trying to find a way to get around Kenny Coppola. He's all over the back bumper of him, but just not able to really get anywhere near a passing zone to try to make a move. And it's a little bit too early for sure. Jordan Schmidt's sort of matching lap times with these guys, but he has already fallen back to about 4.4 seconds. So no real pressure for Randy. I mean, he was a good bit faster in practice, about 3/10 in their fastest lap. But Kenny, no slouch at all, man. He is definitely putting down some quick lap times. He was the fastest on the track last time by. Matt Cox, the only one that was a little bit close to him. That time, though, Randy Mullins, they both picked up the pace, so about a second faster that last lap than they were the previous one. And the 54 is all over the back bumper of the 77, trying to find a way around. Looks to the left, not quite there. Now going to try the drive under him here in the middle section, but Coppola not going to be phased as he is driving damn near perfect here on lap 6 of 67. So a long way to go in this race, and already these guys are out to a 4.5 second lead over third place, 7.5 second lead over Brandon Bikey in fourth. Well, it looks like we got Hunter Carmichael in chat. Man, I can't tell you how disappointed I am to see that you're not here. Is like I said, those point standings look really good. You're probably going to be able just to drive right in. But hey, glad to have you with us in chat. You're definitely going to make it interesting as far as the points go, as we watch these two continue to run nose to tail. And right now, I mean, the story, obviously, outside of the lead battle here that has been pretty awesome. I mean, 6 straight laps of nose-to-tail action. But Paul Gallimore, who had a really rough first part of the race, has gained a spot. But he is now your cutoff driver. He should be about 11 points ahead. But Blaine Wilson was right behind him, like I said, 11 points back. So Blaine Wilson right now is up in 8th. He has the opportunity to get those stage points where Paul Gallimore not able to do that at the moment. So right now looking bleak for Paul. This is probably the worst thing that could happen. I mean, at the moment, 8 plus 11, that's 19. And Gallimore currently running in 21st, and Blaine's going to get those stage points at lap 20 and likely 40 if he can hang on to this top 10 position. Gallimore could be in trouble here. Wortman is going to need some help. He's running in 10th position, just a couple spots back. And then, of course, Jordan Schmidt's up in that 3rd position. So right now, I think the battle is going to be between Blaine Wilson keeping the separation between him and Paul Gallimore. Gallimore's just going to have to put his head down and drive as hard as he can, make up as many spots, not make any mistakes. He'll be fine. If he can get upside the top 15, it's going to be tough for Blaine to really do anything with it. But if he finishes here, it's going to be pretty damn close. And we'll have to see once the race is over who makes it. So that's going to be a fun battle all night long, similar to the Tyler Reddick battle on Sunday. So we'll keep tabs on it the best we can. We don't have live points because of the stage points, but maybe one day somebody will figure that out. Back here, we got Justin Belmont. He is just 1 point ahead of Hunter Carmichael coming into this race, but with Carmichael out, that gives him plenty of about 19 points above the cutoff, so him showing up tonight should be enough. Currently running in that 17th position. Belmont likely going to move on. Now, the paint scheme not as good as the ones in the past, so I'm a little worried for him. He's been really good, really successful with that other paint scheme. I don't know about this one. But back up front, talking a little bit about the playoff drivers, but let's move back up to the lead as Randy, after 8 laps, still putting pressure on Kenny. And Kenny not phased at all at the moment. You know, it's a funny thing about road courses. A lot of times when you have 2 drivers that are respectful and are good, road courses can be difficult to find places to make moves. You know, a lot of times when you have a skill difference in drivers, it's easy to make a pass at just a big mistake or a slide. But when the skill level is so close, like what we talked about in actual NASCAR, where everybody is so close in times, the cars are so even, you can't pass. And that's where Randy Mullins is at the moment. Yeah, he could drive in the corner and just move him out of the way, but that's not how Randy Mullins races. So he's being patient, waiting for an opportunity. He knows he's probably a little bit faster than Kenny, but when you run similar speeds, that just lowers the amount of passing zones on the track. You know, with the skill level being all over the place, there can be a lot of passing zones, but here there's only really maybe one or two that these guys can utilize. So Mullins is going to have to wait, be patient. Outside of a mistake from Kenny, there's really just nowhere to go, and I don't know where he would make that move. So right now, Kenny in control of this race. Only thing that Randy Mullins can do is stay close. He can get there to his back bumper, just nowhere to go. But at one point, they're going to have to come down pit road. That's where you can maybe, he looked down to the inside right there. Thought he might try to make a move, maybe scare Kenny Coppola out of the groove, and I think he might have done that, as now they both kind of reset there. Randy Mullins going to have a great run off of that final corner onto the Charlotte turn 2 into the backstretch chicane, and there's some smoke up in front of him. It was like Caden Orfrey. Coming back on the track now, had some sort of issue. We'll go back and see what happened to him. Watching a replay here, may have just locked him up coming down into the backstretch chicane. You can see he's got a little bit of right front damage. That may have contributed. So he's just straight up not having a good time. Well, they have caught lap traffic. We'll see if that affects this race at all. So far, they were able to get around that lap car. I think that might be Warren Young. And Randy Mullins now looking down to the inside, trying to find any opportunity. But if he can't make the pass, eventually he's going to have to come down pit road, and he can try to make the pass on. If they stay like this, it'll be interesting to see once they come off pit road who's able to win that battle, because that would be maybe where the pass happens. They are just completely mirroring each other's lap times. Nobody is even in the same ballpark as these two when it comes to lap times. George Speed's now 9 seconds back from the lead. Right now, this is the race for sure. Mullins all over the back bumper. Kenny kind of squeezed in there. He wasn't quite to the left side of him, so I think Kenny had control of that position. See how loose the car is getting on exit. Tires just not gripping like they were earlier in the race. But yeah, road courses have a little bit different gentlemen's agreements, I think. You know, on ovals, you see a lot of dives way far back, you know, kind of pointing the car inside, driving in there. But in road courses, you really got to be beside the guy before you're kind of entitled to that position. So you can look, but the angles that you have to hit these corners at, I mean, I think it's safe to assume if you're the lead car, you're given that sort of right away. So Kenny's driving with the assumption that until Randy's alongside him, or at least past the wheel well, the rear wheels, he's got the interest. You see how the angles you have to turn into the corner. If he gives up any one of those angles, I mean, Randy might just drive right on by. So I don't know. By watching the replay, it looks like we're coming up on another lap car. It's the same one. Warren Young. Gonna go down another lap. We stay here on this lap this. Oh, and Mullen's now gonna get to the inside and locks up the front tires. He tried to get to the right side of Kenny there. Saw that smoke. Kenny kind of goes a little bit wide there to keep that contact from happening, but Mullen's starting to maybe get a little impatient here. Well, as across the stripe for lap 14, not much has changed up front. We continue to watch this battle because I know as soon as I turn away from it and show something else, we'll have a pass for the lead. That's just the way things go. So, yeah, I would love to show some other drivers, but this, unfortunately, is the best battle on the track. Nobody's really even close to each other outside of these two. So, we're obviously going to stay. As another driver goes a lap down, that's Ed Bowles Jr. Well, looking at lap times, these two running 1:20.6s. Obviously running very similar lap times, now 10.5 seconds ahead of third place. Then you have 1:20.8s. Barry Sanders back there in the 5th position, running some fast lap times. Here's Barry right here. Got a nice looking car. I like it. Barry always seems to have some pretty solid paint schemes, but seems to be a pretty solid road course racer too. Started back in 9th position, currently running 5th, so he has been making passes, making moves, not in the playoffs, but having a good run here so far. As we got to go back up to the front, and Randy Mullen's still all over the back bumper. See how violent it is when you hit those curves, and it looks like Randy is really good through there, but unfortunately there's a car in front of him. He can't do that. He's got a nice run here. We'll see if he can get down to the inside. Oh, man, they're both using every bit of the track they can. Kenny just, oh, man. Randy saw an opportunity there, got on the gas, and it betrayed him. Gets a little bit loose, spun the tires coming out of that final chicane, and Kenny's got a little bit of breathing room. And as soon as I bragged on Barry Sanders, he has had some sort of issue. It looks like he's coming down pit road. So Barry Sanders coming down pit road here on lap 16. There's Paul Gallimore. That is 16th position. So Gallimore has made up quite a few spots, just keeping it on the track. Made up, he was 22nd when we last talked about him, now up to 16th. Blaine Wilson is in 8th. He's got Chris Davis. Or no, he's got Tim Wortman Jr. in front of him. Tim has been moving up through the field after not a great start, but Blaine, this is a battle for 7th position. Blaine needs to get as many positions as he can because Gallimore closing that gap now. And the gap now only 8 points. That would be enough for Gallimore to move on. But Blaine is still in the points here in 8th spot. If he can get another position, that would be any point's going to make a huge difference here for the 18. So stage points in 1, stage points in 2. He might be able to do it, but Gallimore continues to move up through the field. It's going to be harder and harder. As we go back up front, Kenny has been able to stretch it out just a little bit. They're still running low 20s, which only 2 drivers other than these 2 are in the 20s. Matt Cox ran a 20.7, Chris Davis a 20.9. So these guys running 20.2, so just blazing fast. And at this rate, they might lap the entire field. It's possible. Just a few laps to go before the end of this stage. You can see Barry Sanders there goes a lap down after coming down pit road, and I don't know if he had some damage. That's why he came down, because he stayed on pit road for 35 seconds. So obviously not what you want to see. So I think Barry might have had a little bit of damage, hit that wall. But watch as they go through this infield section. This next corner up here is one you have to be careful. Man, it'll sneak up on you right here. You'll end up in that wall as you're trying to turn down here. You get on the oval to get as much speed as you can, because you can be on this oval for a while, full speed. So you have to really push the limit to that corner. And we saw Kyle Larson miss the next round of the playoffs by hitting that wall, and that can definitely happen here. So Barry Sanders obviously had some sort of issue, come down, got 35 seconds of damage fixed. Shane Davis also been down on pit road. You can see Kenny Coppola going all the way to the grass there, using every bit of track that he can. Those, angles are always important. Look at how these guys are navigating through traffic while also staying on the racing line. Just impressive stuff out of both these drivers, and it's no surprise that they're at the top of the standings. Kenny Coppola locked in with a win. Randy Mullins has a massive points gap over the cutoff, and obviously the favorite to win. So far, though, after lap 1, has not been able to get to the lead, as Kenny Coppola had a great start and has not faltered one bit since the drop of the green flags that come around. They hit lap 20. They'll come back around, and the stage will be once they cross lap 21. And these stage points still matter. These drivers obviously have championship 4. Oh, here we go. Look down to the inside, just making him think about it. Obviously, if you're going to say somebody's going to be in the final 4, it's got to be one of these. It's got to be both these drivers, honestly. They've been some of the best all season long. Would not be surprised if these 2 names are there. But see how wide Kenny Coppola goes there. Here it is. That was the opportunity he needed. Kenny, though, drives the hell out of it down in the corner to protect that. Mullins not able to take advantage as the 77 went real wide there. But Coppola holds on to the lead, but Mullins is all over him as they come around to the end of stage number 1. But these stage points matter. Moving into the next round, winning a stage while these guys are all but locked in. This is going to matter as they go into round of 8. That's going to give them just a little bit more cushion. So this is important. You want to win this stage. You want to win stage number 2. They're going to battle it out here. But coming through the final corner, we got to wait till the top 10 cross the line before it's complete, I do believe, unless they count it at the line. They're not going to throw a caution. So they're going to keep racing, but that should be stage winner Kenny Coppola. So I'm going to call it. I don't know the ruling here on road courses. They don't feed me that type of information, but it looks like Blaine Wilson will get that 8th position. So great job by Blaine to try to maximize the points. Paul Gallimore up to 16th. So Blaine gonna have to keep pushing. Hopefully we got some guys make some mistakes. He can capitalize on that and try to gain a few more points. But Kenny Coppola gonna win stage number 1, and no risks for the stage winners. He's got the 54 continuing to put pressure on him almost nonstop. When will we see pit road? That's the question, as though Randy Mullins does look down to the inside of the 77. He is all over him. I mean, it has not changed for 21 laps. Kenny has got ice water in his veins. He has really not made more than just a couple minor mistakes, and Randy just hasn't had an opportunity to take advantage so far. So when do they come down pit road? That's kind of the question that I have. They can go pretty far, even with tires. I think the tires can make it. Man, I'll tell you what, Mullins though might be getting ready to strike here. We'll kind of go back here. We got a nice 3-way battle. Don't want to miss the pass for the lead. I'm sort of invested at this point, but Matt Cox had some sort of issue, and it's now falling back into Tim Wortman Jr.'s hands, and now Blaine Wilson. So this is sort of a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Tim Wortman's starting to pull away now, as Matt Cox now trying to stay in front of Blaine Wilson. Matt came in 16 points above the cutoff. Pretty much makes him pretty safe, as here comes Blaine Wilson down to the inside, and Matt Cox going to do the smart thing and just let him go. Says, you are racing for a lot more than I am. I'm going to let you go and continue to enjoy sort of a chill ride into the round of 8. Well, this race ought to scoot on through with no cautions. Be one of the road courses, usually one of the quicker races that we have here in Moonshiners. So we should see a finish to this race pretty quickly. But right now, it's all about when do folks come down pit road. That is the question. I think in the next gen car, the tires hold up pretty well. I mean, the best lap that these guys have run is mid-19s. Currently, they're running low 20s. So that's not a huge fall off. Definitely not going to be, if you can make it one stop, that's the call. And you may not even take tires in that situation. I think you might just take fuel only. So we'll see what they decide to do. They'd have to get the lap 34, which is just under 10 laps, to be able to make it to the end on just one stop. Which I would like to think that they easily could do that. So we'll see who takes tires. I mean, a full tank of fuel might be enough time to take 4 tires. I think it'll be a little bit slower. So do you consider maybe taking right sides only to help with the banking? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the call is. I think we'll see some no tires. We'll see some guys try some tires, but I think no tires fuel is about 10 seconds. I think if you take 4 tires, it's about 12, 13. That's enough to make a huge difference, especially with this battle right here. So it's something to think about, but currently the fall off after 24 laps is not even a second yet. So at least not for these drivers. I can't imagine them giving up 3 to 4 seconds to put 4 tires on. It's just, I don't think it's going to play out well. So I think we'll see him come down, take fuel only, try to get on and off pit road the fastest. Because I mean, at this point, the pit stop could be the difference in this race, because Randy Mullins has tried everything he can to get around the 77, other than just shipping him into the corner, and has not been able to get it done. So on pit road is the next best place to do it. We'll see if and when they do come down pit road in the next 10 laps. Well, glad to have y'all here tonight. Of course, the name of this race, the Triple M Hauling 250. So thanks to those guys for sponsoring this race. And what a race it's been. I mean, a lot of times these road courses, you'll have somebody kind of take off and leave, like Randy Mullins has done plenty of times in the past. But Kenny Coppola, man, what a great addition to this race he has made. I think when you think of road courses, obviously, in my mind, before the race, I just think that Randy Mullins is going to just run away with this thing, but that has not been the case. It has been 24 laps of these guys being within a 3/10 of each other the whole time. Impressive stuff. With the, oh man, Kenny gonna get loose there. Just no opportunity in this infield section to really make a pass without putting both of you at risk. And Kenny, you can see he's playing really good defense. And honestly, the defense is not really blocking. You just play defense by running the line. There's no need for him to do any kind of crazy maneuvers to keep Randy behind him. Just run the line in that infield section, because you can't really take a different line. It's not like an oval where you can go to the high side and make a move. That is the line through that infield section. He's just not been able to make enough speed on exit to be there during in either one of the chicane, the back stretch or the front stretch, to make a move. So I mean, passing gonna be so tough. Randy has really put forth a great effort. You can see just how close he's able to get to Kenny, but Kenny just doing a great job of covering off the entry of the corner. You see how Randy gets right to the back bumper, sort of out braking him. And then right here through this intersection, he has been all over him. Kenny, though, going to take a shallow entry. He's going to lock it up. That's what Randy needs. They're going to door bang as they go through the corner. Now Randy has the position. This is the moment they've been waiting on. Kenny, though, going to drive down into the corner. They're still side by side. But I think Randy finally going to be able to make that pass. Kenny Coppola ran shallow in the corner, locked him up. And that was all Randy Mullins needed. Been waiting on that opportunity for 26 laps. And now Randy Mullins out front. Go back and watch that pass. We'll go back just a little bit further. See how all over the back bumper he was. And then just watch as Kenny gonna stay to the right here. And just going to lock it up. You're going to see the tire smoke right there. That opens the door. And, I mean, to the credit of Kenny, he tried to be physical with Randy, knowing how important it is to stay in front of him. Going to drive it in here, but Randy owns that position now in my eyes. And once he gets there, it's all she wrote. So, great patience by the 54. That's what you're looking for out of a driver. You want somebody that's going to be patient and wait for that opportunity. Now, we're going to find out now just how much Kenny has pace-wise with Randy Mullins. You know, obviously he's been in front of him, but can Kenny keep up with him? I think he can. We're going to find out as they cross the line, and we'll see. And now Kenny's sort of in a similar position. You can see these guys hanging it out. Cars are not driving good on exit. If you're Coppola, I don't think you have to go in here and try to get it back immediately. I think if you're Kenny, you try to just minimize mistakes, keep pace with the 54, and hope that the pit stop you can cycle in front of him. But the pit strategy, I think, is going to be interesting between these two. I just don't know what the call is going to be, what the right call is, because they are closing in on that pit stop. And you can see now, though, Randy Mullins out to a half a second. That's the biggest gap that he has had, or these two have had between each other. So and he run a little bit wide there, and it's the wheels are starting to fall off a little bit as Mullins starting to pull away. Mullins was a tenth faster last lap. We'll see as you see them both locking up the fronts. We'll see this lap if just how much quicker Randy Mullins is, and we'll have a better idea if Kenny can kind of stay with it. But you can see that gap a lot bigger than when it was turned the other way around. I got to say, though, man, I'm really impressed with Coppola's drive there early on to keep Randy Mullins back behind him for 26 laps and did a great job. That time, Randy now in the 19-second bracket, although just about a tenth faster again, but right back into the 19-second bracket. I think for sure it will be a no-tire call. I can't imagine taking tires for either one of these drivers. You're going to give up way too much time, and their best lap is a 19.5, and Randy just ran a 19.9. So only 4/10 fall off. That's not worth taking 4 seconds of tires. So likely we'll see a no-tire call out of both these drivers. How far can they go? I mean, obviously you want to run as far as you possibly can with no cautions. That way, when you come down pit road, if you don't take tires, just less and less fuel that you have to take. So run it as long as you possibly can, I think will be the call. Kenny really drove it into the bus stop there. Holy cow. Drove right up to his bumper and kind of paid for it. Just see that gap now almost a second. Well, field's starting to get spread out here. Matt Cox has come down pit road. Here comes Kenny down pit road. The few drivers that have pitted looks like they have taken tires. We're going to pay attention here and see what Coppola does as he makes his move. It says, I'm coming on down. So I think they can make it to the rest of the end of this race. So we'll see what he does. We'll watch the jack. If you see the right sides come up, he is taking tires. If not, just fuel only. And right sides do go up on the 77. We'll see if he takes rights and lefts. 4 tires is going to be the call for Kenny. Pulls back out on track. So pit stop complete for the 77. Now windows of 54 come down pit road. So what I was talking about with that pit stop, 14.4 seconds. I'm interested to see what Randy decides to do. Last time we were at a road course, he did not take tires on a pit stop. Stays out on track. Of course, he only needs to get to lap 34 and he can make it the rest of the way. And I think with Kenny hitting on lap 30, he obviously feels like he can make it the rest of the way. It'll be 37 laps on fuel, so checking up on our playoff drivers we've been talking about right there at the cutoff line. Blaine Wilson was able to get those stage points, finished 8th in stage 1 and 9 laps away from finishing 8th in stage 2. That will give him a few points there. Oh, and Kenny Coppola having issues. Trouble. As Kenny Coppola has just called it quits. What has happened to the 77? We'll go on board, check this replay, and he just loses it down into turn one. Hard contact with the right rear quarter, right front, and damage. Apparently enough that he said, I'm out of here. Goes down to the corner of the car, does not turn right into the barriers as Bikey goes around. So Kenny Coppola will call it quits. And so it don't matter about the pit stops now. Randy Mullins now has complete control of this race. 22 seconds, almost 23 seconds over second place, Jordan Schmeeks. Now, who that does help is Blaine Wilson. He'll gain another spot with some playoff points in the next 8 laps or so. But Paul Gallimore is up to the 14th now. So, yeah, it's going to be close. Gallimore has done a great job after that early part of the race, right at the beginning, getting caught up in a couple incidents. Apparently the damage was not bad at all. I mean, just barely got clipped, and then he kept her going. Drove all the way from 22nd up to 14th, so he's doing what he needs to do. Not going to get any stage points unless folks come down pit road here. But he is doing the best that he can and doing everything right, and that's going to give him another spot as well. So be an extra stage point for Blaine that Gallimore won't get, but another spot for Paul Gallimore. Now that only 6 positions separate the two. Coming into the race, it was an 11-point swing there that Blaine Wilson needed. So as long as Paul doesn't have really just a catastrophe, he's got to be feeling good about his chances at the moment, even with those stage points, because Blaine it was on the back half of the top 10. That's only just a couple points.
Good evening, Eddie.
Hello. Oh, and Gallimore gonna drive through the bus stop, come to a complete stop. He's gonna get a slowdown for that. Well, as soon as we talk about Gallimore having some sort of issue, he does exactly have that. As here comes Jordan Schmeeks down the pit road, gonna make his stop here on lap 33. So obviously it's a 1-stop race for everybody here tonight. Looks like I got Barry Sanders in chat with me tonight. Barry, how you doing, brother?
Doing well, buddy. Had a computer crash, so I figured I'd just join you up here and try to save your voice a little bit.
There you go. Well, it's been an exciting race so far, although the, it's sort of like a balloon when you kind of fill it up, but you don't tie it off and you let it go and it goes. That's kind of what happened here in the last few laps as Coppola spins it out into turn 1. So now Randy Mullins has a 38-second advantage over Brandon Bikey. And that's kind of how we expected this race to go, but 26 laps, man. They were battling as Coppola was able to hold him off for quite a long time. But now Randy Mullins out in the clear. He's got that clean air, and that's dangerous here on the road course like this.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling comfortable now. I know they were battling there for however many laps you just said. So, but yeah, Randy's got to feel pretty comfortable now.
Yeah, so I kind of turned my attention to the playoff bubble, with Hunter Carmichael being out. And I don't know if you want to, since you're in the booth, we can put you to work and start,
Sure.
especially once these playoff points are done and we get to lap 40 here. We're going to lock down 10 more drivers and maybe kind of get an idea of what Blaine Wilson has to do or what Gallimore has to do to protect that. Now that Hunter Carmichael's missed this race, he's out of it.
He's on a tractor, so.
yeah. So unfortunate for him. So he was the one on the cutoff, and now that moved Gallimore up to the cutoff line, and Blaine Wilson just 11 points back coming into this race. But so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out once the stage points get factored in, and we can kind of pay attention to that. That's going to be the story, I think, moving on through this race.
We know where Blaine finished in stage 1?
We do. He finished 8th.
8th, okay. So that gives him 3.
As we're watching, while you're doing a little bit of math, little Kentucky math, we got Randy Mullins coming down pit road. He's going to make his stop. We'll see if he takes tires. I'll be interested. I think with a lead like that, you could, and he is absolutely going to. So 4 tires for the 54. and to gas it up. And I mean, he's going to come out of pit road with the lead with such a massive gap he had already accumulated there. So now he can take it easy. Just drive, go on a Sunday drive. There's really no pressure for Randy Mullins. He's got this race in his control. Give lap cars a wide berth. Whatever you got to do, he's going to easily win this race. There's nobody going to be able to match the lap times he's been able to put down and make any.
As long as he doesn't scrape the wall, it's really easy to do down there. I barely scraped it. Aaron barely scraped it, and we both got meatballs out of that. So basically, all it is saying you got to come in and do repairs, or you get a black flag. So really easy to do if you touch the wall coming up on the big track.
Yeah, I mean, you could make two arguments there. He's got such a massive lead. Why would he push the issue? And then the other argument is, I mean, if you got such a big lead, you kind of stop paying attention. Road course race is all about, kind of a rhythm. You kind of get into a rhythm. When you're running hard like they were in a certain type of rhythm, way that you drive into the corners, how you get back on the throttle. And if you try to just back off and say, you know what, I'm just going to take it easy here, all that's changed. Your rhythm is kind of thrown out of whack. And you're right. It is possible. You make just sort of you start thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow, and all of a sudden, boom, into the wall, everything has changed. So
it's kind of easy to get rocked to sleep at a road course, especially if you're not racing anybody.
Yep, that's right. So Randy Mullins has completed his pit stop. Chris Davis in second has yet to come down pit road. Brandon Fetterplace and Alex Coffey now making their stop. These drivers had a pretty solid race as we close in on into stage number 2. Currently, Blaine Wilson now running in the 6th position. He has already made his stop, just came out of pit road, so he's picked up a couple spots in this pit cycle, and he might pick up a few more as he's coming around now to some folks who have just come down pit road, his teammate and Brandon Fetterplace. So we'll see where Blaine Wilson comes out. Gallimore right now in 14th. Blaine has gained a spot. We'll see. There's Blaine Wilson going to go around Coffey, and looks like he might pass Fetterplace before they come out of pit road. They're going to come out together, and Fetterplace is going to be in front of him. This is 4th and 5th. So Blaine had a really good pit stop. He's going to fight hard to try to get in here. I mean, this is big for Blaine Wilson. He needs these points really bad, and he's going to fight hard for it. Drives right down to the inside, taking advantage of Fetterplace having those colder tires, doesn't have the grip. He's like, I got to get this now before it becomes a lot more difficult in a lap or two. So Blaine Wilson, with just 3 laps in this race, Barry, I don't know what to say about Blaine Wilson, but man, in clutch moments, this fella knows how to get it done. He won at Bristol. He was out. He had to win to get in. Tonight, he comes in with a point situation where he has to go out there and perform, and he is doing exactly that, running 4th here at the end of stage 2.
Absolutely. He just needs to stay the course and survive, basically, and collect as many points as he can and see where he ends up at the end. I'm unable to go back and look because I was trying to get up with Tim. Do you know where Tim finished in stage 1?
I do not know where Wortman finished. I think he might have been a spot ahead of
because
Blaine
they're all
Wilson.
Pretty close there.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
of course, Tim Wortman Jr. is out of the race at the moment. So I don't know what happened to Tim Wortman Jr., but he has had some sort of issue and is out of it.
Okay. Cool.
So that might not matter at this point because he is gone. So we'll see if we can maybe find out what happened to Mr. TMJ or TWJ and get a sense of exactly what happened. Let's take a look at the replay and see if we can find out. Here is Tim Wortman right here. Well, he's got some damage to the left front of that 83. It just come out of pit road. Oh, man, you can tell that left front is towed all in, just pointing to the right. Let's see if we can go back a little bit further and find out what happened to him. You see he's already got that damage. Watching, looking at Tim Wortman. There it is right there. Just locks it up as he comes off of pit road. Those cold tires. That's why I was wondering if anybody's going to just not take any tires because of this reason right here. He come out of pit road, and this is exactly why it can be nervous to take cold tires. Just no grip at a road course like this. He just came out of pit road. I mean, golly. And just like that, Barry, race over.
Yep. That's the way it goes here, man. And people say road course racing is not that exciting, but yeah, when there's a playoff berth on the line for the round of 8, yeah, it gets a little pressure to you.
Yeah, so that's his race and playoff hopes for sure. As now DNFs include Jared Clark, and Warren Young, Jamison Middlemiss, Caden Norfree is back out on track. Barry Sanders, who's up in the booth now, he's out of it. Nigel Christensen. Ed Bowles Jr., Aaron Matthews, they have had over 10 minutes of repairs on those cars, but they are all on track. Kenny Coppola and now Tim Wortman Jr. out of this one. So almost a third of the field is out of it already, and we still have about 27 laps to go as we close in on the end of stage number 2. We're watching Randy Mullins, who has a 40.5-second lead over second place Brandon Bike. You see it in the distance. There he was. I mean, on the other side completely other side of the track is Brandon Bikey. So Randy Mullins now in complete control. And now it's all about Blaine Wilson and Paul Gallimore. Gallimore has been able to move up to 13th now, but Blaine Wilson in 3rd. So he is going to gain a ton of stage points, especially here in the next couple laps.
So what I'm gathering is Paul basically needs 10 points, but Blaine would need to outscore Paul by 11, which he's already cut that down to 8 with the 3 stage points and wherever he's getting ready to finish in this stage.
He's currently in 3rd, and nobody's really even close to him. So let's make the assumption he finishes in 3rd in this one, and then
Paul's not in stage running, so
nope.
All right, so that'll basically, Blaine's in 3rd. That gives him 8 points. So basically, they're going to be tied going into stage 3.
How about that? Holy cow! That's the kind of drama that we needed here with a field spread apart like it is. So, I mean, Blaine is doing everything he can. Gallimore just, and probably the downside for Gallimore is he's in 13th, 2 laps down. And the only person that's on his lap is Johnny Shade. He's about 6.5 seconds back from him. But anything can happen. We've seen a lot of guys drop out. We got somebody up against the wall slow. I don't know who that is. Might be Ed Bowles Jr. It is. He's slow up against the top side of the track. But, yeah, lots can happen here. But Gallimore going to have to dig deep. He's currently running down Johnny Shade. He's, oh, man. That last lap, he's about 5 or 6 seconds faster. He's then cut it down to 4.5 seconds now. So he might gain a position here in the next few laps. But,
I mean, stage points are definitely going to matter. So if Blaine finishes where he does, so he got 3 in the first stage, and he's going to get 8 here, it looks like.
So what would be the tiebreaker, Mr. Admin? As Randy Mullins going to cross the line for lap 40 to start lap 41, that will make him the stage winner. No surprise there. So
tiebreakers are usually going to be the best finish from that particular round. So let's see. At Kansas.
Well, Randy Mullins takes stage number 2. He's all on an island now that Kenny Coppola is out of this thing. And Blaine Wilson will take the 3rd place in stage number 2. So 8th in stage 1, 3rd in stage 2. That is a damn good drive for the driver of the 18 Toyota Camry. So he is putting in the work, doing what he needs to do, and it's paying off here. If he can just continue to push forward. If Bikey has some sort of issue, Blaine's only 8.5 seconds back from Bikey, and he is running substantially faster. I think right now Blaine is obviously, he might be listening to the broadcast. He might know the situation. You know, what he definitely cannot do is have a catastrophic corner here or there like Tim Wortman or these others. He's got to keep the car on the track, but right now he's looking good. Gallimore starting to close in on Johnny Shade, but it's going to be close. It's going to be really, really close before this race is over with.
Let's create some more drama for everybody. I'm looking at the chat now. So basically, Paul Gallimore has the best finish in this round at 13th. As long as, if they're tied at the end of this race, of course, the highest position, which is Blaine right now, would actually be the highest position for the round, which if there was a tiebreaker, which I don't think there will be because they're tied right now, but if there was a tiebreaker, it would go to if Blaine finished higher than 13th in this particular race.
There you go. Now, that all being said, Paul Gallimore now running up on the 12th position driver of Johnny Shade. So this is a very important spot because right now Blaine has got about 8 seconds to Brandon Bikey. So he really can't gain anything. There's no more stage points being handed out. So now the race is in Gallimore's hands. He can go up there and take a spot here, and that might get him in by just 1 point. I believe they are. I don't think they're tied now, honestly. There's only 10 points separating them. I'm not real sure.
Yeah, they're tied after the stage points. So if Blaine finished 8th in round or stage 1, and then he finished 3rd, so he got 11 points, right?
That's right, but then you have the difference. They're 10 spots different in the race.
Right. So right now Blaine's good, so he just needs to keep it on the track and get no damage, basically.
Yeah,
if
so
he can do that,
points,
he'll move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say those stage points were the big thing. So Blaine likely with the difference in where they are on track and the stage points he gained, that was what he needed, and he's gonna have that's almost probably about a 9-10 point swing the other way. So. Well, that's why we love playoff racing. You know, we talk trash about the stages, and I want to go back to the old days, and I do agree they were awesome. I think finally back to the 90s, early 2000s, even before that. But the stage racing, the playoff format definitely does keep excitement through the races, where this would be, you know, now a sort of a boring race. There's still plenty to talk about, and it's even like that in real life. It just gives you so many storylines. It creates that kind of drama that we see. And then, you know, I think NASCAR has done a great job of putting certain tracks in certain spots in the playoffs to kind of even make it, you know, even more dramatic. So it's really cool how it all plays out. It's cool that Moonshine is sort of mirroring it. It kind of plays out the same way here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to keep the realism in it and keep it realistic as possible. That's why we follow the schedule. Yeah, you know, we do pretty much everything that they do to a certain extent, except for the stage cautions at road courses. Just don't want it going on all night. So, but it looks like a lot of our drivers have put in a ton of work at these road courses because we're way improved as a group at road course racing, and I kind of think that's due to the schedule. You know, we used to race two road courses every year. We had Watkins Glen, Sonoma in real life, right? And now you got 6. So
yep.
they kind of force your hand to you know, be good at these, or at least attempt to be good at these anyway. But I think everybody's doing really well and improving at these tracks.
Well, I mean, the time has passed of the Boris Seds, the road course ringers in real life. I mean, that time has come and gone. That just doesn't exist anymore. I mean, you've got the SVG, which I think he's sort of an outlier.
Right.
But even him, I mean, he won at Chicago, but now that he has started going to road courses that these other guys have been to many times, you can see it sort of equalizes even him. So, I mean, you have to be, if you're going to race in a NASCAR series, you've got to be good at road courses. And obviously, Randy Mullins is just kind of outclasses him, and Kenny obviously outclasses everybody else. But, you know, at least you've got to have this skill in your back pocket. It's gonna make a difference.
Well, it absolutely does. I mean, Randy has been tough on every track. I mean, he puts in the work. He's done really well at every track. But he's really improved from last year to this season. Oh, good.
No, sorry. Gallimore cooked it into turn 1, made a little bit of contact with the wall as he kind of locked it up and just kind of slowly tapped that wall, but almost a disaster for the 11. Sorry, go ahead, Barry.
No, you're fine. I forgot where I was even at. But no, Randy's been great at every track, but he's really put in the work on the road courses this season, and it's paid off for him because he's won. He's won at Sonoma, he won at the street course, he won at Watkins Glen, and it looks like he's about ready to win here. So, I mean, I think if Kenny hadn't had the accident, it would have been a battle to the finish because Kenny is top notch when it comes to road course racing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, and I mean, it's so nice though in a win and get in type of system to have you could circle a couple tracks, say I'm going to win that, and Randy Mullins kind of has done that this season, and that's a. I mean, when you talk about SVG going into next season, I mean he's getting crushed on ovals, but if
Right.
you can circle a road course and say I think I might be able to win that. In the Xfinity Series this season, at one point he was leading the point standings entirely because of his wins at the road courses, and so you know, for Randy Mullins, that's a superpower that he has, other than being great everywhere else. Being able to almost guarantee that you win a road course, every one that we have, man, that's such a nice way to set yourself up through every single round of the playoffs, but also the whole season. So, I mean, the
I
only
don't want
round
to
that,
take anything. I don't want to take anything away from SVG at all because I think he's awesome at road coursing. But the Chicago street course was like a perfect storm. Like nobody ever seen that track, and that's what he's kind of used to. So, like, and he whooped their ass. Let's just be honest.
we didn't
But
whoop their ass. It was a great finish at the end. You know, there was
yeah,
who was
Justin
I don't even,
Haley,
yeah,
Justin
Justin
Haley.
Haley was up there, and you know SVG just got the better of him. So I mean, these drivers, I think the overall point of what me and you both are saying is that you better be damn good at road courses. You're gonna have trouble.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's plenty of really good drivers in NASCAR and even in Moonshiners here virtually. You got to keep the skill up for sure.
Well, it's not easy. I mean, just from my perspective, coming into a road course, I play with the brake pedal. Like, whatever my foot and leg is doing that day, I will adjust to how much brake pressure I'm applying, how much throttle I'm putting, and I'll adjust the inputs on those just to make sure I'm not spinning the rear tires. I'm not sliding the brakes when I go into a corner. You kind of move. There's a lot that goes into it, and these guys put in the time. So just because they're not as fast as Randy and Kenny are, they're still doing the work that goes into being good at road courses, and that's what I like about what everybody's doing. Because like Brandon Bikey, man, he struggled at road courses and he's admitted it, but he's ran well the last 2 or 3. He's put in the work. I mean, Blaine Wilson's up there. Brandon Feder placed in the top 5. I mean, I just think it's impressive that the guys are really putting in the work and finding those little adjustments to what works for them.
Yeah, and road courses, you know, you always wonder why we have these big gaps and stuff. You know, whenever, you know, how can Randy Mullins be this much better? But when you have 17 turns in a track, you know, if you're a tenth or two faster in each turn, that adds up quickly.
Oh yeah.
And so we're talking about maybe hundredths of a second better each turn, and it's not much, and it adds.
And we're
up
all
over
trying to
those turns.
find that little extra to get out of the corner just to make up that time, and it's minimal. So, thank you, Kelly. Kelly said, Barry, you do a great job. I appreciate that, Kelly.
Well, and what I mean, you know, these cars are really based off of like the V8 supercars, and IMSA obviously probably had a lot of input on how they decided to design the next gen car. Obviously, it's well suited for road course racing, but you know, one thing it doesn't have is any traction control, stability control. It's still raw. While it does have a lot of really nice things like sequential shifting, things that make this a lot easier. I mean, an H pattern. I mean, you talking about being a man? That's taking an H pattern back in the 80s.
I miss my H pattern.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 80s when they're running Riverside with that H pattern with them cars, that's a man type drive right there. But still though, no traction control, no ABS, you know, no real assists like that. You know, this is still a lot harder than it looks, I'm sure. So,
and no stage costing, so it's completely endurance. So
Yeah.
you might as well think we're running the 24-hour Le Mans or something. But the way the guys talk anyway. But you know, Randy's still out front, comfortable lead. I don't think that's going anywhere because he's probably not pushing it very hard.
Yeah, currently watching a battle for 5th. Chris Davis has kind of been all over Brandon Feder place, just hasn't been able to make a move here as Paul Gallimore has moved up to 11th. But at this point, with that stage 2 finish for Blaine Wilson, just incredible job, and that's pretty much sealed the deal. We'll see if Paul can continue to move forward. He's gained another spot now, still trying to run down Johnny Shade for that top 10 But regardless, though, of Paul Gallimore, if he doesn't make the playoffs, still a great drive. He showed up. I mean, I thought he was going to miss the race. Joined in. I mean, I think right as the race was getting ready to grid up, started in the back, got involved in an incident in turn 1, and has come from 22nd to 11th in the course of 49 laps.
Another scenario that I was looking at, Jordan Smeets has had I know he's 26 points out coming into this race, but I believe he finished 3rd in stage 1. That's 8 points there. So I'm not really for sure. I haven't done the calculations on it, but he's closing in on the back of Chris Davis and Brandon Federer places as well. So maybe he makes this a little bit more interesting for everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, Randy Mullins is not making this interesting. 17 laps to go in this race. He's got a 52-second advantage over Brandon Bike. He's now lapped up to 8th position, and he is closing in on Jordan Schmeetz, who you just mentioned, who is running in 7th. So I don't know. I think Randy might just feel lost at this point. He's like, I don't know where I'm at on the track. I miss Kenny. We were racing. I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to choose of running by myself for another 20 laps or so, or racing like they were early part of the race, I want Kenny back out there. So I know he was probably bummed that happened, because you know, these races go by a whole lot quicker if you got somebody to race, something to kind of shoot for. It kind of pushes you. But out here running on an island, pretty much. No chat. Well, happy about that.
Well, let's just push Randy to the side. I'll tell you a little interesting fact. You were talking about 5th and 6th, Chris Davis, Brandon Federer place. They got a little bit of history, by the way. So things could get a little interesting there for that spot. I'll just say that.
Well, Chris has gotten close. They kind of trade lap times. That time by Federer place was about 0.3 faster. Last lap, Davis will get to his back bumper, then kind of fall back a little bit. Now Jordan Schmeetz is starting to close in on both these drivers. So we might see a nice little 3-way battle here. It's just tough to pass. This is, you know, I was talking about this before you got into the chat, Barry. If you get somebody that's close to your speed, now if you're much faster, you can run a half second faster. It's pretty easy to make a pass. But when you're running, you know, just a 10th or so faster than somebody, it is so difficult to make that pass at this track. Just not a whole lot of great passing zones. Everything slows you down. You can't get back on the throttle enough to gas it up on the corner just right, and you kind of get stuck behind the other driver. So Chris Davis sort of stuck at the moment, but we might see a nice little 3-way battle.
Yeah, absolutely. You just gotta time everything perfect. You gotta hope that they mess up where you're looking to pass. You know, I was following Bikey early on, and I'd get close to him, and you know, you kind of flip with the air off of his car. So I kind of backed up, and I was just comfortable running in 5th at the time. I was just kind of, you know, like, let me get in a rhythm, see what I'm doing, and, you know, if he comes back to me, he comes back to me. And then I ended up scraping the wall a little bit. I don't know why that put me out of the race, but it sure did. But yeah, being behind somebody is pretty tough, especially when you're used to hitting your marks, and you probably ran 100 to 200 laps of practice, and you're used to your braking points, and you got to adjust to what they're doing in front of you so you don't run over them. So there's a lot that goes into it, but they're having a good little battle right now as Chris is closed back in there, and Jordan's closing in as well.
Yeah, just whether or not he could make that pass. We're going to watch it. This is about the best battle that we got going on the track. So we'll stay here and watch these guys battle it out as they go through the backstretch chicane. Chris Davis closes that gap as Jordan Schmeetz also gets within half a second of Chris Davis. And so we'll have a nice little maybe 15 laps here to see how this all plays out. And right now, I mean, the most nervous driver on the track has got to be the 18. I mean,
well, he's not too far up the road.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to drop a few spots, but I think what you're more nervous about, you know, in real life, you're just hoping a tire doesn't blow, you're hoping an engine doesn't give out or some major catastrophic issue. But you know, racing on the computer over the internet, sending ones and zeros, you hope, man, I hope my power doesn't go out. You start thinking about that. Start thinking about my internet. I hope it don't blink out. It doesn't drop me or my wheel, as you see Jordan Schmeetz blow a corner there. You know, my wheel doesn't disconnect, or, you know, my dog doesn't come through and knock shit off the desk. You know, all kinds of things can happen, And you know, Blaine's got a long time to think about that, because if something does happen like that, he's out. So he's got to maintain this third position, or at least the next couple spots, and so he has got to be thinking about that.
Second through seventh are all on the same straightaway right now. You know, seventh going through the chicane right now. So, and then Blaine Wilson's just right up the road. Him and Alex Coffey both. So if anything does happen, you know, could be a little dramatic towards the end.
I mean, a quick way to lose about 5-6 spots.
Yeah, you just got to hang on it and hope your teammate behind you doesn't give you too much pressure, because Alex is closing in on Blaine. At this point, I think if I'm Blaine, I just let him go if he's faster than me. It doesn't make any sense to fight him for the position, because you got Gallimore back in 10th.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I don't. They may not be listening to the broadcast. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But he may not know the point situation, so he might be telling his teammate, "Hey, look, you're good. You're gonna make it. And let me have this third place finish, so I can maximize it." Because they may not just have an idea of how the point situation is, because we don't have a live points update or anything, so they don't know where they are.
Right.
Normally in real life, they have a team of engineers. They can look at the point standings. They can see how it is live. You see Chris Davis get a run here down to the inside.
See if Brandon makes it easy on him.
They're going to go side by side through the chicane. I like this.
Oop. Good work.
Yeah, good
Chris
pass
Davis
there.
definitely improved on his road course racing as well. I know he put in a lot of work this week. So Chris doing his thing now. So he didn't qualify too well, but he's running well. Very consistent.
Yeah, 6 spots since the beginning of the race. Oh, and he's going to spin out right in front of Brandon Fetterplace. And dadgummit.
As I say that.
Barry just had
He's going to be mad at
him.
me now.
Yeah, he's gonna be mad at you, because he as soon as he come out of that bus stop, he loops it. No harm, no foul for Chris Davis. He is solidly in the playoffs, but a scary moment there for those 3 drivers as they checked up, let him get it all back headed in the right direction. So now the battle is going to be between Fetterplace and Schmeets, as now Jordan gets to the back bumper.
Yeah, Jordan's trying to get everything he can. He's hoping that he's going to find a way into the round of 8. I haven't done any calculations for Jordan, but I know he did well in stage 1. I just don't know where he finished in stage 2. But I would say it's all up to Blaine and him finishing right where he's at.
Yeah, I would say napkin math. I would agree with that, unless something just crazy happens. Blaine is, again, just throwing a Hail Mary at the cutoff race and gonna move on. So at this point, if I was a betting man, I might put a little bit of money on Blaine.
Don't say it. Oh no. We'll see. Now he's gonna lock up and hit the wall or something. Hunter's out in the chat. I hope you're still on the tractor. You lost yourself a spot this evening.
Barry just sticking the knife in and twisting it there in chat. We continue to watch this battle, but not much else going on the track. Looks like Jeffrey Taylor might have called it quits a few laps ago, and so another DNF here tonight. But this is the best battle on the track as we close in on 10 laps to go. Randy Mullins now, he is right behind these drivers. Randy Mullins, you see there's Chris Davis, his teammate. Here comes Randy Mullins. So he is likely going to lap up to 5th position before this thing is all said and done. He's currently the only driver in the mid-20s. The next driver on the time sheet is Alex Coffey at a 21.3. So Randy Mullins second faster than anybody else on the track at the moment. Well, actually, Tim Wortman Jr. just ran a 20.5, but he is back in 13 laps down. So on the lead lap, or at least the first couple laps, Randy is about a second faster than everybody, as I assume everybody is sort of on cruise control at the moment. We'll go back to this 5th place battle as Jordan Schmidt's going to lock it up into the final chicane, trying to get to the right side of Brandon Fetterplace. And, Schmidt's going to get loose, tail slap the wall. He is trying hard to get to that position.
Yeah, he knows he needs spots, so I think he's driving a little bit harder than he should, but we'll see what he can do with Brandon.
Of course, he might be bored as hell, just want to get out there and battle somebody.
That's probably true.
Get out there and just let it all hang out. Of course, it's a lot easier to drive behind somebody. You know, they'll carry it on the stick. You're able to drive further in the corner. When you're leading a two-car little battle like this, you're kind of depending on your own braking points. But if you're the guy behind, you can kind of watch that car and see when he gets on the brakes, and you can usually drive a little bit deeper than that guy. So it's easier to be the following car sometimes, but
I mean, this is the only place that I know where slower is better. It's so difficult to judge,
especially in that inside, the infield.
Oh, the infield, yeah, for sure. Slower is so much better because if you slide the tires any bit, you're just cutting time off your lap.
I'll tell you what, let's take a lap with Randy Mullins as he is back behind his teammate. Let's see what it takes to run a mid-20. Now he is running up on traffic, so you can see, I mean, it's not easy. He's having to put up some wheel into it. He's having to counter steer quite a bit. He's having to work that throttle so he doesn't spin the rear tires. But you're right, slow through here, hitting the apex is just perfect, using all the track so you don't waste any time. Same thing here. He's going to off the throttle, shift a little bit late.
Had a little slide through there, not too bad.
A little slide. Hell, he's been on the track 23 laps on this tire. If he ain't sliding, he ain't trying, baby.
Right. He don't even need to try at this point.
No. One thing he is doing that, is a nice trick for any road course racers is a lot of guys, especially oval drivers, we're not used to doing too many things with our hands and feet. You kind of want to shift late. You don't. A lot of guys try to go from fifth down to second before they turn into a corner, but that really can upset the balance of the car as you get into the corner. And you'll see Randy Mullins kind of do that. He'll shift at the apex of the corner sometimes, just to help that car continue to stay balanced and rotate well.
Carry more momentum that way too.
That's right. See, I'm the type of guy that's like, I'm gonna go fifth, fourth, third before I hit the corner, and it'll goof you up.
Can't do that. I mean, if you want to carry the most momentum, usually you want to shift a little bit slower, in my opinion. And then the later you shift, you're carrying more momentum in there. You might put a little more brake into it, but if you get that momentum into your corners, your times are going to increase or decrease, I should say.
Yeah, and it's just engine braking. Whenever you shift down and those RPMs the engine grabs the drivetrain. That throws the balance of the car off. So if you're trying to hit an apex, you're trying to get as much speed as you can. When you shift down early like that, it throws the car a little off balance and make braking more difficult, turning more difficult. So waiting on the shifts down can definitely make a huge difference in just being able to make the corners. Well, still watching Randy Mullins go around the track, and you can definitely see he's just taking his time, not really trying to be pushy here as cameraman goes nuts. We'll go back to this little battle here between Fetterplace and Schmeat. Schmeat's not able to get around him at the moment as we are closing in on 7 laps to go in this one.
Randy just backed off of Chris. Oh, there's some people coming down pit road. I wonder if a little short on fuel.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Shane Davis came down 16 laps ago, and Randy Mullins 25. I'd be surprised if somebody short on fuel might have just want to come down and get some tires after you burn them up. I don't know. Shane Davis is on pit road.
If he got any damage here.
Like, we continue to watch this battle between Jordan and Brandon. And Jordan has really been putting the pressure not only on Brandon Fetterplace, but also his rear tires is off the corners. He is just sliding those things. And might as well. You're not going to take them home with you, so might as well use them up.
Right.
You're right. Randy Mullins did back off quite a bit. He ran a 1:23 last lap. Somebody just blew the corner behind him. I don't know who the hell that was. That was Johnny Shade, I do believe. He's going through the chicane. It blows it. Gonna have to do a slowdown there, but locked up the front tires heavily.
I think Randy caused that.
Yeah. Well, going on board with Randy just to see if there is a fuel issue, because I don't think they went to at least 34, a lot of these drivers, so they got plenty of fuel. I think he just...
Depends on what gear you're using. You know, if they're using a lot of second gear, you might be a little less, but I think they can all make it.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 6 laps to go. That would put him at 32 laps. I know for a fact he can make 32 laps on fuel. So I think he was just wanting to get away from these other drivers, not have something disastrous happen in front of him, let these guys battle it out. And Schmeat still.
Yeah, he's all over the 34. They're closing in on Paul Gallimore.
Paul has cracked the top 10. He was finally able to get around Johnny Shade, who has had some damage, not having a great back part of this race. Oh, man, as they both get a little out of shape through that final chicane. I thought Jordan might be able to get in there and take that spot away from him, but not quite able to do it just yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned them earlier in the show. I mean, you got Matt Cox that's still in, and Justin Belmonte that's still in the playoffs. It looks like they're just being really quiet today, running respectively in 8th and 9th. They should move on easily.
Is it Justin Belmonte?
That's what I've always said.
I've been calling him Justin Belmont.
Oh,
this whole season. And if you tell me it's Justin, I'm gonna say if you tell me it's Justin Belmonte, I'm gonna be pissed because he hasn't said a word.
We'll definitely check on that.
You see Paul Gallimore getting past here. He is in 10th position. He is 2 laps down at the moment, and so far likely to be out of the playoffs as Blaine Wilson continues to run in that 3rd position. Still a great playoff run for Gallimore. He's a race winner this season. Obviously, had hopes of going a little bit further, but I mean the competition here in Moonshiners is just unbelievable. And so getting knocked out for the round of 8, it's definitely not a. It's not you can't be sad about it because there are so many good drivers. It just takes one mistake, one issue, one missed race. I mean anything that can happen. And life happens sometimes. It does not take much, and you'll be out of this thing. So, moving into the round of 8, obviously this next round is going to be the toughest because there are no slouches as we look down into the who that's. I mean, likely that is going to be is Kenny Coppola, obviously with the win. He's locked in. Randy Mullins is, just been unbelievable. So he is for sure moving on. Alex Coffey as well. He's running in 4th place. He is. No doubt going to move on. Chris Davis, Matt Cox, Brandon Bikey, Justin Belmont, and looks to be Blaine Wilson, who just a Hail Mary here tonight, going to get it done. But that is a stout round of 8, and it's only going to get harder for those drivers. I can't tell you who's going to be the champion. I know everybody in chat's going to say the 54, but, out of those 8 drivers, I don't know. Because you would say maybe the weakest driver – you might say is Blaine Wilson, but look what Blaine Wilson has done in the playoffs. And to count him out, to me, would just be silly. So those 8 drivers going into the playoffs, pretty incredible.
Oh! Jordan Speets and Brandon Fairplace were trying to get around Jamison, and they about turned each other.
About had an issue, huh? Take a look at it here on the replay. A little bit of tire smoke out in front of them. Checking out what happened here on this little replay. Oh man, just caught him at the worst spot. Schmeats tried to sneak up to the right side. That's some good racing, like right there. I like it.
You're driving hard for that spot. That's for sure. Yep. Here comes Randy's fans out in the chat. Announcer man, I believe Randy is top 24. I don't know what that means. He's number one right now. I don't know about 24.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't. Sometimes in chat, I think there might be a little bit too much alcohol flowing. Sometimes this chat in Moonshiners, they live up to the name. I think they see the name and they're like, "Yeah, we gotta partake." And I think we see that a lot in chat. So sometimes they say things I don't know what they're talking about. So,
well, I came up with that based on where NASCAR began. So that's what I've stuck with for the past 5 years. So I like it.
I think it works good.
Moonshine.
Yeah, I think you gave out some Jesus moonshine or something earlier in the not too long ago with some sponsor.
Yeah, Crazy Chuck's Purple Jesus Moonshine. Yeah, we appreciate the sponsor from Crazy Chuck, man.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if he's watching tonight, but definitely appreciate it. I know he's an Alex Coffee fan.
Yeah, so he's happy about what's going on. Blaine Wilson, Dig Esports getting a couple drivers in the round of 8.
And then Hunter lets my team down tonight. Thanks, Hunter. Appreciate it. Nah, he's got to work. He's got to provide for his family. We understand that.
So far, U.S. America has said they spelled out Randy in 5 different lines. He said
every lap is a shot.
He said he's number 1 in my heart as well as the leaderboard. 2 words. Announcer man, I believe Randy is top 24, and then every lap is a shot. So that tells you all you need to know right there.
I'm always wondering every time I go back and look at this stuff who Tank Tickler is. and I don't know where the name came from, but it cracks me up every time I see it.
It's a good one.
And then we got Alex's mom, Kelly. We every week, dedicated. I love it. Appreciate you being here, Kelly.
Yeah, she said she had the team name. She was upset with me that I didn't have a graphic last week to show what team everybody was on, and so I charged her and said, well, who smelt it dealt it, and you need to go make a graphic. She said she didn't know how to do that, and so this week though, Kenny Copel, I believe, provided her a list of team names. So Kelly, if you could go ahead and type all of those out right now, that would be great. That'd be helpful to the broadcast. We'll read those out.
We'll wait.
Got plenty of time. We still got 2 laps to go as Alex Coffey has gotten to the back bumper of Blaine Wilson. We'll see if he decides to make that move. I would be surprised with just 1 lap to go and what's at stake for the 18 if he makes that pass, but he is there. And then about 6.5 seconds. You see he lifts right there, so definitely going to let Blaine Wilson continue to have that 3rd place. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row that Alex Coffey has shown himself to be a damn good teammate. Caden Norfrey last week got the win at Talladega, and Alex could have made a move to try to get that win, elected not to, push his teammate to the win. I think that plays out pretty good. If you could be a teammate when you're in a good position like that, maybe they repay it when you get to the Final Four or some other issue. So I like to see that teamwork. Alex Coffey being a great team player, but white flag is out for Randy Mullins one more time around, and he will and he was nice. He was nice enough not to go up there and lap up to 5th place. He let these guys kind of battle it out.
I think he's just giving them some room just in case something happens. Yeah, because you got Smeets up there still racing for a playoff spot. Chris is still in the playoffs, so I think he's just giving them a little bit of room just in case something happens between Federer Place and Smeet. But he definitely driving Miss Daisy right now.
Yeah, Randy Mullins coming off of oval number 2 down into the backstretch chicane for the final time. Goes into turn number 3 and 4. Here he comes off the corner. Barney's got the checkered flag in hand through the final chicane. And Randy Mullins wins here at the Roval, and he is going to the round of 8. No surprise there. but he does get it done. And there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Randy Mullins. Everybody else in front of him's got to go around to the rest of the track and do another
I'm still
lap.
watching a 22 and a 34.
Yeah, hell, I'd be like, hey, Randy, pass me so I ain't got to do another lap at this damn track. And he did not do that. So there's your winner, Randy Mullins. We'll go back and check out some of these battles that are still going on. Here is your third place, Mikey. Coming out of turn 2 now.
Oh, Jordan Sweet's about lost it.
Into the chicane. You can see 3rd and 4th right here as they get ready to finish this one up. And somehow it's still an hour and 45 minutes, even with no cautions. I don't know how y'all do it. It's incredible.
Yeah, we may change some things next year with that. At the time, we all thought it was a great idea, and we all voted on it. So we went with no cautions, just due to some turn 1 hiccups. But I think we may return to stage breaks next year. We'll see.
There you go. Well, 3rd and 4th, Blaine Wilson. I think he does it. Gallimore comes home in 10th. This battle behind us. Oh, they make contact after the start-finish line. And, oh, man, Chris Davis flying up through the air. But it's all about Randy Mullins as he is now doing donuts here on the front stretch. Your winner here tonight. And we'll talk to him. And I think it's safe to say that Blaine Wilson will get that final transfer spot. So just incredible drive for him. Can't wait to talk to him about it. Let's take a look at your results, see where everybody else finished. And then we will we'll talk to these drivers, see what they thought about it. The hell is this song? I want something a little bit more. There we go. Big old drums. Okay. Well, no cautions tonight. 1 lead change. Randy Mullins wins by 1 minute and 8 seconds over second place Brandon Bikey. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about a lot of drivers. You know, hats off to Brandon Bikey. I mean, second place. Had a great drive, quiet night. Didn't really talk about it much. He was that kind of racing by himself, but man, a great finish, second place for him. Then you got Blaine Wilson in 3rd, Alex Coffey in 4th, Brandon Fetterplace in 5th. Then you got Jordan Schmeets in the 6th position, Chris Davis in 7th, Matt Cox in 8th. A lot of playoff drivers there in the round of 12 here. Going to move it on to the round 8, just having pedestrian days to move on to that next round. Justin Belmont in 9th and Paul Gallimore in 10th. I don't think that's going to be enough with the stage points that Blaine got, but still a great drive all the way from 22nd up to 10th. He did the best he could tonight, that's for sure, and did a damn good job of it. In 11th, going to be Nick King and Johnny Shade in 12th, Shane Davis in 13th, Aaron Matthews in 14th, Tim Wortman Jr. in 15th, and all these drivers were pretty much out of the race. Caden Norfree in 16th, Jeffrey Taylor 17th, Ed Bowles Jr. in 18th, Kenny Coppola in 19th. Great battle that he and Randy Mullins had all night long. Going to come home in 19th after some contact after the pit road. Jamison Middle Miss in 20th. 21st, Nigel Christensen, Barry Sanders in 22nd. Just wanted to get up in the booth, I think, tonight. 23rd, Warren Young and Jared Clark rounds out your field. Well, let's get the winner up into the booth. Let's talk to him, and we're going to bring him up into the booth right now. Randy Mullins, your winner here tonight. Randy, this Eddie and Barry in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, man, what a fun race for the first part. Kenny Coppola was able to get out ahead on the initial start of the race, and man, what a great battle. 26 laps you guys ran nose to tail. I mean, lightning fast lap times, just hanging it all out there, trying to fight for that lead. Talk about that battle. What were you trying to do? How much were you saving? How much were you pushing? What was your plan there? Because it was going to be tough to get around Kenny.
Well, I knew that he had already won, so he was locked in, so he was going to go for it. And the opening lap, I was trying to take it easy, cold tires, and just make sure we didn't run over each other. And he sent it. He got the lead. He did a damn good job at that, and he kind of held it. There was a few times that I stuck my nose in there, was kind of there, and he would come down and I would lift because I'm a firm believer early in a race, you don't push it that hard where it's going to get both of you guys in trouble. And then I tried to put a little pressure on him and win the first stage. That didn't quite work out. We were together nose to tail the whole time, but then he made a little mistake, and it allowed me to get to the inside of him, and I was able to complete the pass, and then started slowly opening the gap up. Um, I don't exactly know what happened to him. I hate that we didn't get to finish it. I would have loved to have seen how it would have played out, how it would have went. But it's fun racing with him. He's very, how do you say it? Very aggressive, but very clean. So I really appreciate the clean battle, Kenny. I don't know what happened. I hate you could have finished it, but hey, I'll take it, man. This is good playoff points going into the next round.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, you kind of have an expectation for yourself that you come into these road courses and win. And tonight, you're able to get it done and just kind of laid waste to the field after that. At what point during when you were running nose to tail with Kenny, had he not made that mistake, would you have tried to take no tires, or do you think tires were a necessity tonight?
I was probably going to take them regardless. I did enough testing that there is tire fall off. I felt I was just a tick better than Kenny in certain areas. There was a few areas he was better than me, but I think I was just a little bit more overall. It wasn't much. I mean, it wasn't even a tenth. It was like a half a tenth. But I knew, hey, if I just get in front of him, I'll be fine. So I was taking tires regardless.
Well, once that happened, you were kind of out on an island, and man, you were just laying down some really fast lap times, and got up to the back of basically the whole field. Mikey was a minute and 8 seconds back, and you it seemed like you kind of backed off there at the end just to let those guys kind of battle it out, not get yourself in a bad position there. But either way, man, incredible race early on. Then to take advantage of Kenny having some issue and just kind of taking control of the race. And you did exactly that. So, man, congratulations on the win. You go to the round of 8. No surprise there. You get some really good stage points. They're going to carry over, and you look forward to the next round. No road courses in the next round, but not a big deal for you. You seem to be fast everywhere. What track are you most excited about in this next round?
I'm excited about the next two, Vegas and Homestead. I think Vegas is going to be a good race with Kenny, Brandon, Alex. I think everybody's obviously we're getting down to crunch time, so they'll be putting in more time. But I'm really looking forward to the Vegas race. I ran good there in the spring, so Homestead, just do a little testing, make sure you're there. Martinsville, it's just survival, so it's definitely the first two of that round for sure.
Well, all right, we're ready. Well, congratulations on the win. And as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
I want to thank Barry for putting on the league. You up in the booth, you do a stellar job every time you broadcast, and I really hope you come back next year, man. A lot of the audience they come because of you. So I don't know what your plans are, but I really hope we have you on board. I need to thank my sponsors, OB Builders, Door and Trim, Ram Welding and Fabrication, and then my team that I run with on Thursday nights, Brandon Pasalaka. I know you call him Boom Shakalaka, but Brandon Pasalaka, Josh Schaffner, Brian Johnson. They helped me a lot with fine tuning things and learning inputs and stuff. So big shout out to all those guys.
Well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Randy Mullins, going to the round of 8. No surprise there. Nobody was worried about that not happening at
Boo.
all. So Randy Mullins moves on after the win here tonight. So we'll move on to the guys that are waiting patiently in the booth or in the waiting room, and that's Brandon Bikey, who admittedly, Brandon, don't be mad at me, but I didn't really say your name much tonight. And I think at a road course, coming home in second place, sometimes that's a good thing. Uh, Pretty good race for you to come home in second, and pretty quiet though, wasn't
Yep, that's the way I want it to be. You're
it?
exactly right. I was just trying to keep the wheels on it, let other people make mistakes. I do. I like doing endurance racing, and I just kind of lends to just running consistent laps and being mistake free. So I was hoping because the Roval is just a tough course to drive in general, as you guys could probably see with all the people that destroyed themselves. It's not easy, and I knew if I could keep four wheels on it, I'd finish okay.
Yeah, and you did. You did. I mean, you started 6. You kind of worked your way up through, and then the issues that happened in front of you, able to take advantage of it. And I mean, it doesn't matter that Randy Mullins was a minute and 8 seconds ahead of you. Second, still second. You know what I'm saying? So that is a great finish at a road course. And you held off everybody from behind. And I don't have much to say. Questions because you like you said, you had a nice quiet race. You get to move on, get this dang road course out of the way, and move on to some real tracks like Vegas and Homestead. So let's forget about the road course tonight and Roval. Let's think ahead to the round of 8. We got Vegas next week, and then got Homestead, and then Martinsville. What are your thoughts about the next few races? How are you approaching those as we move on to try to get down to the final 4?
Oh, well, I hate road courses, so I'm so glad we're done. I didn't even want to race this one, but I had terrible luck in the first 2 races of this round, so I had to race it to stay to make the playoffs. As far as the next
Also
round
survived
goes,
a hurricane, right?
yeah. I was going through a hurricane. Milton was hitting me last week while we were at Talladega, so I took my whole rig over to, and I run in VR, so it's not as big of a rig as most people. But I took that over to my in-laws' place, and we ran it there. I ran it there, and luckily they didn't lose power while Milton was just trashing everything. So that was pretty wild. But yeah, as far as the next round goes, I'm excited to have those races. Vegas is a fun track. Homestead's a fun track. I've actually never raced on Martinsville in this game because it's such a shit show every single time. So I'm not looking forward to that either. I'm just going to try to do what I did here and just stay alive.
Well, man, congratulations on a second place finish. You're moving on to the round 8. Can't wait to see. The round of 8 is going to be stout, so it's going to be a dogfight all the way to the end. But you have been fast all season long. Can't wait to see what you do in this next round. And as always, brother, who you got to thank?
Yeah, man. Thank you, Barry, first of all, for putting on the league. It's such a fun place to race. It's just great competition. It's, I can't thank him enough. Eddie, you do an amazing broadcast. And then my whole support system, BMP, they are just the best group of guys. Taylor, Schmeets, Cox, Rogers, the Davis brothers, Gallimore, St. Cor, Slater, Kenny, obviously. I mean, his setup is just great. He had a great car. Wish he hadn't gotten, into trouble on his own, because I think he would have been tough to beat tonight. But man, he puts out some great setups at Team Watson Racing. So if you're looking for good competitive setups for open racing, go Team Watson Racing. Get Kenny set up because it'll help him out, and you'll go out there and win races. So I want to thank all of them, and then my wife Lindsay, she supports me with all this, and then my dad and friends that watch. So appreciate everybody out there in the chat that participates while the race is going on. We all appreciate it and love watching it back and seeing the comments and stuff. So thank y'all.
All right. Well, there you have it. Second place finisher, Brandon Bikey. And then the one I'm excited to talk to is Blaine Wilson, your third place finisher. Blaine, my God, dude, I feel like I have to actually bet on you going forward, because I'm excited to see what you do at Martinsville in the cutoff round for the final 4, because you're able to win a must-win situation at Bristol. And then here at the Roval, you had a steep hill to climb. And damn it, if you didn't do a damn good job of making that happen, and likely, assuming there's not some crazy point situation, you're going to move on to the round of 8 when you were all but out of it coming into this thing. How'd you do it? Talk about that drive, man.
Well, if I'm in, let's go. That was crazy. I definitely thought we were out coming to the Roval. I mean, this place is disgusting. I don't know if anyone likes this place, but terrible. But we put in the effort, put in the work throughout the week, tons of laps practicing, multiple setups, found one that I really love, and it was on rails. And to be honest with you, I was like a 10th place car. We went in to pit, and I came out of the pits third, and I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. But I'll take it. So definitely just glad I didn't meatball it or anything like that. We completed every single lap, sweating like hell. I got the heat on for the first time. It's hot. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Points are rolling in right now.
Yeah, we were kind of trying to update the points as it goes, and honestly, it was going to be close. Gallimore was back in 22nd at the start of the race, involved in a first accident, but then got up into the top 15 and actually came home in 10th. But your stage points from the first stage, and then you finished third in the second stage, that catapulted you, likely unofficially, just for my voice and some little bit of napkin math, catapulted you ahead of him, just based on those stage points alone. So if that does hold, man, congratulations. I mean, just unbelievable drive by you to do exactly what you need to do in both cutoff races to get to the next round. So, congratulations on that race. That was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to see you come out of there with uh, that round of 8. So, looking forward to see what you can do in that round. So, sorry, got some PMs heading my way. Sorry about that. But Blaine, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. And man, who do you have to thank?
Shout out everybody at Dig Esports, putting laps in with me this week, just trying to be consistent. That was all it was about. I knew it wasn't going to be quick, but consistency was key, and we pulled it off. Shout out to you putting on a great broadcast. And Barry, I don't know what I got to do for an extra point or two, but thank you for putting on this league and everybody racing clean tonight and have any troubles. Hopefully, we don't have any more bad luck moving forward, and we'll close it out.
There you have it. Blaine Wilson, your 3rd place finisher. And boy, what a race tonight. That was a lot of fun. I mean, for a road course, damn it if Moonshiners doesn't know how to put on a damn show. It makes it easy for a broadcaster to call these races just because they're so good and they put on a great show. Well, that's it for the Roval. We're out. We're done with road courses. Huh?
I'm working my little fingers here, man. I'm going to give you the points as they stand.
Okay. Doing a thing, Bear. Doing a thing.
I know you're doing a thing.
As far as road courses, we are done. And we're done with that. We're getting that crap out of here. It's an oval series, and we're going to crown a champion in an oval series, and the next 4 races are going to be those tracks. So road courses are done, and I cannot wait to see how these guys do next week as we go into Las Vegas. A little bit of Vegas racing, baby. I cannot wait. That's going to be a fun track, and we saw a lot of great strategy early in the season, and I expect to see that here this next week. And by the looks of it, we were right. Blaine Wilson, by 7 points, will jump over 2 drivers, Hunter Carmichael, who was not able to make the race, and then Gallimore with those stage points and raced his way into the round of 8. So congratulations, Randy Mullins, Alex Coffey, Kenny Coppola, Brandon Bikey, Chris Davis, Matt Cox, Justin Belmont, Blaine Wilson. That will be your round of 8 as we move into the final 4 races of the season. Who's going to be in that final 4? I have no idea. I cannot tell you. I'd say Blaine Wilson sort of been the one that you kind of question, but at this point, I can't question him. He's got all the juice that you need to get into the round of 4, which is something that they don't call it. But thank y'all so much for watching. We're going to get out of here. A lot of fun tonight. Congratulations to Randy Mullins on the win again. Congratulations on the top 8. Thank y'all so much for watching. Being active in chat makes a big deal. Big difference for sure. If you're not subscribed to V-Speed, please do that. Then on behalf of Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, everybody over at V-Speed, y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.